Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the podcast. I'm Brendan. I'm here with John.
Howdy. Dude, my girlfriend says she's gonna leave me because of I've got a poker problem. But
Sorry to hear that.
well, I I kind of think she's bluffing.
Uh, um,
Overwhelm, loss,
Overwhelm, loss,
death,
all kinds of shit.
sickness,
Sickness.
the big things, car crashes.
Yeah. So we were talking a little bit before we started about some of our woes, perhaps. See, but then again, we're the ones having the problem, but we're not the ones that are like in the coma or in the hospital. So anyway, that's just fun. Anyway, fucking shit. That's one of the things I think about. So we were talking about loss, overwhelm, and stuff being challenging because I know somebody close to me. It's like her daughter's in a intensive care unit, and then John was telling me about his,
My aunt.
yeah, your aunt.
Yeah, I've got an aunt who's also in the intensive care. Well, she's in a coma. She was in a bad car accident.
Yeah, and so she's fucked up. Then we got, well, your dad's fucked up. I just know medically he's in a rough spot.
He's getting better right now. He's better than he has been. He had but yeah, he's got a lot of health issues for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, I know somebody else just got out of surgery. Like, it seems like everybody I know is sick. I'm getting sick, but like my sickness is just viral. Didn't hospitalize me. But there's all this like degradation of the human body
Yeah.
going on. And then I was going to talk, and I was just about to tell John about a story that I heard. And this one, I mean, you want rough. It's like, here's this younger guy. He's in power lining. He's a bit of a wild man, but he was really good at his job. And he was driving down the highway. He's going down the road.
In a car or on a bike
In a
or what?
truck. In a truck. So work truck. And either he blew a tire, I think he blew a tire, and it sucked him. When you blow a tire, it pulls the
Yeah.
vehicle. It pulled
Strongly,
him
yeah.
right into
The
head
curb.
on with a fucking cement truck or something crazy,
Oh fuck.
and just sheared his body from here, just gone. Something insane. And so then my buddy, yeah, and then so like he wasn't close to me. So the funny, the honest truth is he wasn't close to me, so I don't really give a shit, right? But my friend was close to him. And it hits.
Yeah.
And there's something that hits when people you love are in pain or people you love are going away, right? Against your will, or like somehow seemingly going away. It can be overwhelming, perhaps, or like you dealt with the death of your child.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck, dude? And then, so it's like the challenge. Some of the challenges I think I experience are in the domain of. It's like my view of. It's like some expectation for the future, right? I have some image for the future. And it goes, no, that's not happening. So then I'm upset about it. I'm upset about losing an image or something. It's weird. And then you were saying something like it hits hard or hits home. And there is stuff, I've encountered stuff multiple times that is like in spiritual worlds, people are all blah, 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 blah. Then you shoot their puppy in the face, and all that blah, blah, blah goes, whoa. You see how that would kind of hit? I know that's up, but it's like,
How many puppies have you shot, Brendan? Jeez.
thankfully, none. I've never had to shoot a puppy.
Uh,
See, but it's like you see how, I mean, take the joking out of it, take the fucked upness out of it, and what I'm left with is there might be a guttural, a non-intellectual fucking about that.
yeah.
See, or like I remember when my friend gave birth and I was there to watch, and when that and
Mm.
I didn't I knew the kid wasn't mine. But still, when that kid came out, something shocked me. It was as if something shocked my body. This was a very primal, non-intellectual fucking ooh, right into my heart. It's like,
Yeah.
whoa. Like there's another human being right there. What the
Hmm.
See, and it's not when I say primal, I just mean like very deeply programmed, like because it's not intellectual, it's fucking visceral. Maybe is a word for that. And then similar with this death and dying and people falling apart stuff, especially
Hmm.
when they're close. There's something visceral. It's like an owie. It's uncomfortable. Hey, that's not right.
Hmm.
You see how we get down about it too.
Well, I'm just thinking about how to talk about it. I
Oh, we could go. What the is going on? Sorry, it sounds like you're
yeah,
considering something.
I've had people die in my family and um more than once. So um I feel when people close to me die, uh I feel closer to death. I also feel closer to that person,
Hmm.
and I feel a lot of love and a lot of helplessness at the same time.
Hmm.
And there's something about it that feels very much outside of space and time. I don't really know how to explain that, except for it feels like the recognition that you know, there's like everything that we do is kind of in some sense just stuff that we do while we're waiting to die.
That's true.
And so like in a certain way you could just think of this as like the waiting room.
It's a good thing they don't have their logistics together necessarily because that means it'd be waiting a long time, hopefully, right? But then,
Well, but but you know, there's all these paradoxes that are true simultaneously, like you and I will never come again, and like in that sense we're infinitely precious, and there's no one here, and we're waiting to die, and yet simultaneously in this very strange way, like death is like this ultimate separation, and yet in my experience, I can say that in death or moments of death, near death, I feel profoundly close to the people that I've known.
hmm,
And it's something that as you know, the time goes away from those moments, you know, as time passes, then that feeling of intimacy becomes as if like submerged under like layers and layers of experience, like memory and the day-to-day life. But the truth is, if I put my attention on Alistair or my great grandparents or my grandparents, so I knew most of my great grandparents and I knew my all
yeah.
my grandparents. Um, then I can connect with that. I can connect with those moments, and I don't think that, or that person, or like, I don't know what it is, but it just doesn't. It's I don't know what it is exactly, but it feels real to me,
Yeah.
and that helplessness is part of it because it's like I'm not in charge of
Right.
who goes and when.
Yeah, you aren't in charge. That whatever that you is something that can come or go.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's true. There is that paradox because it's like I can't come and go, and yet this guy can.
Yeah.
uh, and I was considering as you were talking, maybe it's not so much being dead that's the problem, it's the loss that's the problem.
Yeah.
Like everything up until death is probably a struggle.
It is literally a struggle. That's what life is. I mean, not to
Yeah.
put a negative spin on it, but
Yeah, no, like
it's going to
literally,
sound
yeah,
that
no,
way.
we have to do something to live or we keep being alive. Why? Because we don't want to die, as far as I can tell.
But I was talking to my girlfriend, who's not actually going to break up with me because I have a gambling problem or for any other reason, I hope.
Poker.
And I poker. No, I in the last few days I've really been keen on making some long-term plans, some 5-year plans, and got some agendas and objectives and stuff like that. And she
Yeah.
just isn't in the mood to talk about things like that right now. She's fucking tired. She just finished out the school year, finished out working and everything. And I had a moment when I was a couple moments recently, several times in different ways, where I felt my urgency to accomplish things getting in the way of love,
Hmm.
you know, and what I recognize when somebody dies is that, or that's close to me, is that my urgency to accomplish things is so unimportant.
Yeah.
Like it's just really not the thing. And there's no right or wrong about it. People can live their lives really putting their attention on the things that they are trying to accomplish. People can live their lives putting their attention really on the love that they feel for whomever. But since we're in the business of consciousness here, I think why not be conscious of both? And it can become something that's separating or creating a disconnect between the people, or hell, the puppy that you love, whatever it is. Maybe not to tell anyone how to live, but consider what's the cost of where you put your attention
Yeah.
while you are here, because while you are here is actually a limited thing.
Yeah. 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 Or it sort of brings certain things into perspective. I did a bunch of video editing for myself yesterday, and like what you value changes. Like you could have $1 billion, but if you're getting choked out on a BJJ mat, I don't think the billions really matter in that instant.
Or if you've got cancer,
Yeah.
the BJJ guy is probably going to let go when you tap. That's why BJJ is fun.
Right. You get close
If
to
people
death,
like
but
if you took tapping out of BJJ, it would like the whole business model of this enterprise would just plummet rapidly.
it wouldn't work.
No more tapping, guys. No more. It's just
Oh my God, the
It's just
hospital bills.
we do snap or nap, but no tap.
Snapper nap.
It's like sign up, come on. No, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Fucking A.
I think that's kind of why like striking arts are less user friendly.
Yeah.
Because with striking arts, you kind of have to, if you want to play it for real, you're gonna hurt and or hurt other people.
Yeah.
Get
Yeah. It's
hurt and
a
or hurt other people.
little more violent like that, or the potential for getting injured probably is higher, you guess. You have to take certain precautions.
Yeah.
Fucking snap or nap.
Hmm.
Funny.
So dealing with overwhelm, we talked about
Sure.
this.
Yeah, we did talk about this before. So all that stuff. Yeah, I guess we're having a melancholy podcast day today. I don't know. I'm sure we'll find our way to some humor. Um, yeah, so all that shit can be overwhelming. How do you deal with overwhelm? That's a question.
Collapse into a fetal ball.
Okay, yep.
Just feel your feelings.
Cry.
Hopefully you've got somebody around you to help take care of you,
Yeah.
and you can let it go for a while.
Yeah. Now what do you do if you can't do that?
And you fucking dig in and you do what you got to do to survive. And then when you don't have to do that anymore, you find a safe spot where you can lick your wounds, where you can,
Then you can break down.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. When I think of overwhelm, I think of people in the military. Like,
Hmm.
I've never been in combat. You know, the closest I come is training martial arts whenever I do train. And that can be overwhelming. Like if you're boxing and somebody starts wailing on you fast and
Hmm.
furious, you get overwhelmed pretty quick. Um, One of the main things to do in there is stay present, stay now, like
Hmm.
right with the process. And it's like, don't let the mind crumble.
Hmm.
You know, that's the main thing. Or like I did see a video of he's a ranger, special forces, something like that. He's like in a firefight, got shot in the shoulder, and just walked it off the field. You know, he didn't like fall down. He was just like, all right, I think I'm all right. Like, you know, it was very calm. Um, Saw another video of this guy. He's a state trooper in Oklahoma, and he's going like, I don't know, 100 down the highway. There's somebody in front of him. He's pulling out his gun in the car to shoot through the windshield, driving with his knee on a high speed chase. Cool as a cucumber, like very composed. So I'm just bringing these examples up, not overwhelmed. So then what is that overwhelm part? It's like the mind goes, nah, this is you. I suspect it's a type of conclusion. Like it may be deeply programmed. Some people can handle that shit, others can't. What's the deal? I've trained my mind to be stronger than it was. I used to be a
Hmm.
lot more frantic. I used to be a lot more jumpy.
Hmm.
You know, I can still be excitable like that, but I can also like bring it right into nope, just here,
Hmm.
solid. I'm just curious. I think it's more like, again, like controlling my mind, like in the martial, is like what I don't do, as Peter would say, what I don't do with my mind. We don't go there. We don't go
Hmm.
there. We don't go. No, no, no. Nope. We're just staying right here. That's it.
Hmm.
You know, I bet confidence helps with that, like training. So like because I've done lots of boxing, I've been hitting the head a lot. I can somebody hits me in the head, one shot, okay, what it's like whatever. It's not
Hmm.
overwhelming. Whereas somebody who's zero training, you pop them in the face, they don't know what's hit them, they don't know what's going on. They'll get overwhelmed. Their mind will
Yeah.
go down that road. They'll freak, they'll panic, they'll get angry, they'll have a reaction or something.
So experience with the thing itself tends to help us feel familiar and thus less overwhelmed when we're confronted with similar things.
Seems that way. Seems that way. I remember being in a rough mental space and I had to do workshops. I mean, I've told stories like this. It's like I had to fucking perform.
Hmm.
And I was like, I don't know if I could do this, right?
Hmm.
A lot of emotional pain. That was tough. But what did I do? I just had to buckle down and be like, I made some decisions. It's like the pain of quitting was greater than the pain of doing the job,
Yeah, there's that.
which helped. Like, it's like my image or my reputation. I'm like, I can't quit. These people are counting on me. I'm fucked. So I'm like, all right, well, you just got to go through it then. Buckle up, Buttercup. Let's go.
Mm.
See, so I think there's some like the mental fortitude of the person. Their will we did we do intensives in the apprenticeship. You remember the intensives in the apprenticeship,
Hmm.
and there's one intensive where I hit a wall. I was at the like there was no way this I think will help because it's like I hit a wall. I couldn't go further. I had this huge feeling of I can't.
Mm.
And then at some point I broke through that wall and I realized, "Oh, that shit's temporary and there's more?" I didn't know I had more in me.
Mm.
I think that alone has that is one thing that nobody can take that away from me.
Hmm.
It's like, holy shit. Oh yeah, yeah. I forgot there's levels where it's like if I hit the quit wall, there's so much more past that. And I think without experientially doing that, would I push myself on my own to go through that? I don't know. Probably not. Probably
But you
we
know,
don't even want to go there and just
well, the
like
reality is that you did because you signed up for the program, and the program included intensives, and so sometimes I think there's so many different kinds of overwhelm, and I think you're
mm,
talking about a lot of different ones.
sure.
There's the kind of overwhelm that somebody experiences um, from shock,
Yeah.
from grief. There's the kind of overwhelm they experience from pressure. And there's different kinds of pressure. There's the physical, very, very physical kind of pressure and like combat. There's pressure like to pay your bills and take care of your children and like
Yeah.
navigate life and stuff like that.
Yeah.
there's a lot of different kinds of overwhelm that one can experience. And I think some of them are much more abstract and conceptual and kind of chronic, and others are very acute and extremely local. And you can have somebody who's very good, like that police officer who was driving with his knees and about to fire a weapon through his own windshield while talking on the radio. Well, hey, that's amazing. And he might have a really hard time with, you know,
Emotional
s-
vulnerability or something.
emotional vulnerability. Yeah, it happens. Like that's a very like sort of cliche archetype, but it is so for a reason.
Yeah.
And so we could talk to people about dealing with the heavy things, the things that like people dying. We could talk about how to handle encounters with, probably what people deal with mostly on the day to day is social anxiety and like anxiety related to Yeah, to like work and family and
Yeah.
social media and shit like
Yeah,
that,
yeah,
and
yeah. Somebody downvoted
self-assessment,
my.
self-judgment, and like that's most of it. And I think one of the things is that Marshall does it to some extent. Marshall does it to some extent. Like if you do jujitsu, if you do wrestling, if you do boxing,
Oh my
then
god.
you get at least a little taste of like how that kind of stuff is just kind of not real. And
Yeah,
then, but then something like somebody very close to you dies, or maybe you almost die, or something like that. And I think that that blows away most um, martial training and training in general. Like
yeah,
training isn't war. Training isn't somebody really dying, whether in war or not. Training is training.
yeah,
Games are games.
yeah. And we can experience overwhelm in many domains, like
Hmm.
what you just said. That's interesting. As you were talking, I was like, yeah, most of our fucking problems are socially derived worries about what other people think of us. What are we? Oh my god! Like, what did they say about me on social media? Oh my god! I don't know, dude. I think we. How weak are we? How weak are we as a fucking species? That's
It's
like the pinnacle of most of our problems. Is this bullshit? And then you get these outliers when it's hopefully for most it's rare somebody dies. You get to see like, oh, they're gone. Fuck, that's real. That's more real than Twitter, fucking Facebook, negative comments on YouTube, and we care about that stuff, don't we? Me. What a
yeah.
Some kids even off themselves because of social media.
Yeah. So then it circles back around. It becomes, I
We
mean,
get all the way back to the real.
you get all the way back to the real again. Yeah.
Jesus. As you were talking, I just kind of zoomed out. I'm like, oh my God, we're pathetic. We're pathetic. Holy shit. About that like social stuff. So concerning.
I mean, to be a little bit critical, but I think that that's kind of the temporarily, that is the motif or the concern of our age. Not completely, but we're more capable these days because of the technology, because of um, yeah, the creature comforts, especially in the United States,
Yeah.
but in many parts of the world, to distract ourselves and to feel anxiety, like low grade, but rather continuous, ongoing fear for the loss of social status for
Yeah.
relatively trivial things,
Oh, there's that too. Yeah.
with
Like,
that, without even really noticing that that's what we're doing, and we become kind of, but it's actually so much more comfortable than much more immediate physical things. And not everybody is like that. Not everybody is in that world, but it's very accessible to a large percentage of the people in the United States and in Western Europe and other parts of the world as well. So, but I think most of the people that are listening to this podcast are probably interested in something that's a little bit more grounded and real than that,
yeah.
and they're not really too focused on that, and yet
Oh,
it's
I'm
always
sure
there.
they are. I'm sure they are. Also, there is the power of social is incredible. It is not. People think, oh yeah, I'm antisocial. That's still social. Like social is the fucking thing with us humans. Like we're wired up for these kinds of interactions. So it is very
Mm.
much life. It is also like life and death because if the social, as Peter might say, like if they turn on you, your ass is grass.
Yeah, or
Even
even
if
if they don't turn on you, they just abandon
they
you.
could shun you, yeah. And
Yeah.
that could happen
And
instantly on fucking
yeah, on social media. And
social
social media is
media.
like a proxy, but it not completely a proxy because it does extend into, people's
Like, could
real
have
physical
physical
relationships with
consequences.
people. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
it's wild. It's a wild world we live in.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
How
very
we
weird.
project our concerns and ourselves into this digital technology, as you and I are doing right now.
Yeah. It's exactly what we're doing.
You know,
It's true.
it's really wild. I'm learning about I'm learning to code, I'm learning computer science. I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah.
And one of the things that's just struck me, it's like through language and logic, we have bit by bit, literally, and invention by invention, created devices that we can we can program physical reality to operate with language. We do it with language. We program it with language, and it actually respond, or it doesn't respond. It is affected by the language. The language as if moves it, and then
Yeah.
stuff happens. And that stuff that happens is wild, like our ability to communicate thousands of miles away.
Yeah.
So to trivialize things, or like if you say like language is a concept and social is a concept and so forth, that might lead people to think like, oh, you means it doesn't matter, or it's not important, or it
That's
doesn't
because they're,
have any
yeah, they're
relevance.
confusing that it's a concept with it doesn't have power.
Hmm.
It's not incredibly influential. But, I never said not powerful. Say, oh, language is a concept. Don't confuse that with not powerful, not the entire fucking world you live in, pretty much.
Yeah.
If you're understanding me right now, if you see a person over here, hello.
Hmm.
Like that whole the world that we share, it's incredibly powerful. Yeah. Yeah, so people, it's true. I can speak about it in a trivial using trivial verbiage and a soft tone, but don't confuse the tone with the truth of the matter, which is this incredibly powerful. It's fucking no joke. Powerful.
Yeah.
So, how do we get people? So, dealing with overwhelm. What can people do? Do we cover all that?
I think you
What
just got
can we
to deal
do?
with it. I don't mean that in a macho way. I mean like, um, if you're actually impacted by something that's that's affecting you, um, and you're not honest with yourself about it, you're not dealing with it. Now, that doesn't mean
Hmm.
to ham it up or embellish it. That's also not being honest about it. That's also not dealing with it.
Yeah.
You have to be real with the physical and or conceptual, social, mental, whatever, emotional
Whatever's going on.
impact, whatever is going on. You have to be real with it. If you cannot address it at that moment in time because something else seems more pressing, like people in war, obviously they're suffering from a lot of emotional and physical trauma, and yet they must continue on.
Yeah.
Well, that's not the time to deal with it. So they have to some degree, compartmentalize that. And that's a case by case. Like, can you train yourself to do that? Can you get better at it? Yes, maybe. But people are going to do what they're going to do to handle it until they get to hopefully get past that danger zone or whatever it is,
And
to
then,
where they can then go turn their attention to the thing they've got to turn into. And maybe you can resolve it. Resolve isn't even the right word because it assumes that it's a negative. I think there's
yeah.
an assumption there that it's a negative because it's confrontational with our desire to survive. But I think one of the things about trauma, innate to trauma or overwhelm, is that some way or another, however you do it, there's a certain amount of kind of like acceptance that's not bitterness, it's not indifference, although those things can arise too. It's actually accepting the thing, and that actually means it's not good or bad. Like it's
Yeah.
acceptance.
So you're talking about the resolving it after the fact.
Either way,
Yeah.
like when my son died, um, my partner was the one I needed to take care of.
Yeah.
And I was definitely feeling a lot, and other people were there for me, you among them.
Yeah.
But to a large extent, I had to like actually just put my feelings on hold for about a month at
Yeah.
least before I could really start attending to them. And even then, I needed to, at times, kind of just, there was a dance to work there, but I needed to come back. And I think that that's not uncommon.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm reminded of it's interesting because the overwhelm itself, like what if something is immediately overwhelming, like there's some other stuff you might like there's like an internal decision that needs to be made whether you're going to crumble or you're going to stay. And you have to keep making the decision to stay. If you crumble, you crumble. That's overwhelmed. Like it's okay, it's too much. Then you do something about it. That's how you handle it. Or blank it out or shut down or panic or completely freeze up or curl into a ball. You give, in a sense, give up. It looks like giving up. And it seems like there needs to be a decision to continue no matter what,
Hmm.
in the face of the challenge. I'm going to keep going. Then I won't be overwhelmed. I'll be in pain. It'll suck, but I'm not overwhelmed. That's that breaking point. You know what I mean? That, can't do it anymore. Give up. When I say overwhelmed, that's kind of what I'm thinking of.
Okay. Yeah, it can definitely feel like there's a choice involved. And you can like I think to a certain extent that that can be very true. But like I remember for when my son died, I it wasn't very much longer that I went to a jujitsu class because I was like, I'm not gonna stop my life.
Yeah.
And I went to a jujitsu class to roll, and I was not trying to let it affect me. I I really couldn't roll. I just couldn't um I couldn't concentrate.
Yeah.
And I wasn't intellectually thinking about Alistair. I was just feeling this thing that just kind of like I don't know what was like in front of me physically just didn't feel real.
Hmm.
And
Interesting.
so I mean I guess I want to say the part that is not uh sometimes you deal with overwhelm by not dealing with overwhelm. So the nature of overwhelm, real overwhelm, by definition, is it is too much. And the reason that we die is because there is too much pressure on the system for it to take.
When you
When
said the reason that we die, that didn't make any
the
sense to
the
the.
reason that we die is because like the
Oh, you mean like the
the
bot?
man that
Like,
you heard about, the man that you heard about who drifted off and got into that car accident, or my Aunt Shelley. It's
yeah.
like those are obviously very extreme examples, okay, and it's super physical and
Well, the
everything.
system
But
got overloaded. You mean the
yeah,
physical?
the system got overloaded. That's too much pressure
Yeah.
to deal with for a human being, period. There's no choice in that. And
Sure.
um
That yeah, because that's a body thing too.
that's a
Like
body
I mean,
yeah, that's a body thing, but like I think that and it's different for everybody and I don't know what it is and I'm just speculating here. But
yeah.
I think that when people get exposed to things that are sometimes people get exposed to this. I don't really want to say it's kind of counter to the basic, like you're all about empowering, and I am too. I think this is
Yeah.
fantastic work because empowerment or skill development um is one of the things that we talk about. I guess I just want to say that um sometimes you just get injured. And I don't mean just physically, although that's really obvious, or killed, that's really obvious, but also emotionally. There are emotional injuries that
Yeah.
happen that you, there's no way to access choice around it, at
Yeah.
least not immediately.
Yeah. Yeah, it's that I would call that like that deeper programmed stuff. The stuff that hits you and you're like, well, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You see, and even in the language, it hits me as if it's not me, but it's like something that is primal or core. Yeah.
Yeah. So just knowing
Yeah,
that
that can happen too.
some things are like, if we're thinking about um empowerment, or there are some things you should do your best to avoid. Like don't try
Yeah.
try not to go down certain roads.
Yeah.
You may find them to be overwhelming. As best you can.
Yeah, like as you were talking, I was considering probably most of what people have when they're overwhelmed is because they're thinking wrong. And what I mean
Yeah.
by that is like I'm just talking about general run of the mill, not extreme examples, but probably generalized stuff. It's
Yeah.
like, oh my God, I've got 20 things to do. I don't know what 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 to do. And then you get overwhelmed. It's like, dude,
Just start with
you,
number one.
yeah, you're not prioritizing what the you need to do first. Make a list. Get busy. The
Right.
overwhelm will go away. It's like
Right.
that, that's just simple that I mean, simple. Didn't say easy. Simple. You think certain thoughts are like, I know somebody and the way her mind is wired up, if her husband says something, she freaks, like 'cause
Mm.
she's worried about being a good person or whatever. See, so she freaks out about that. It's like, stop that. It's like, do you want a flower? It's like, dude, chill. See,
Yeah.
a lot of your overwhelm could be from you. Like that's more accessible. So just like what you
Yeah.
said, stop doing that stuff for sure. Or get, and then right. And many people aren't even trained in their own mind. Like they don't know that, like if we back up to somebody who's never talked to us before or never engaged in this kind of work, you might not even know that your overwhelm comes from your mind.
Mm.
Like you might not even know that overwhelm is something you're doing in that case. In these generalized cases, it probably, man, if we back up even further, we go to somebody who's so locked up that it's your fault. I'm a victim. I can't help it.
Yeah.
Oh, that hurts. I think I'm overwhelmed. Ah! Yeah. So, yeah, dude. What do you do for those people? There's nothing to do there.
Yeah.
Just start exposing them at least to some ideas. You got to start way back, as far as I can tell. If I was to do that with somebody who's what I'm calling locked up, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just their state of mind. It's the world in which they live that I'm not in control of. I'd have to back way up to the beginning and just start with some ideas. Hey, I heard this book, Overwhelm, is caused by something else, like not what you think, or it's just something. Plant some ideas. Get some willingness. Hey, do you want to stop? Do you want to see? I'm not good at it, right? I can't work with this. Can't work with this. He's like, do you like the overwhelm? No. Wouldn't it be nice to have that gone? Yeah. Wouldn't it be nice to know the real source of the overwhelm? Yeah. Are you willing to look with me? Yeah. Okay, now we can start.
Mm.
Little baby steps. Now, take a look at your experience. Now, what happens when you get overwhelmed? How
This is
does that?
like another topic, but I
And I'm
I think
also
there's
aware
like,
of the time. You said 1 hour. We're right about 1 hour. Do
yeah,
you
we're
want to
right there.
continue or do you want to cut it there?
I should get going, but well, I still a couple more minutes.
Yeah, I knew it.
I think if this is like another topic, but if you want to help somebody become more conscious, first of all, be conscious. That's like
Yeah,
number
that
number one.
right away. I'm going to interrupt you. That the quote from Jesus. My dad would always say this to me:
Yeah,
"Remove the log from thine own eye before attempting to remove the sliver from thy brother's eye."
yeah, exactly. So we could
Yeah.
just like stop right there, and then after that, seems to me there's like two basic tools, and one is empathy, like tactical empathy and loving empathy. Like it's basically like really, 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 really get that other person's world
Yeah, get
and
their experience.
experience and get them to get that you get it,
Mm,
which is that's that reflecting thing. Like when people feel seen, they feel validated by you, they're open. And that's powerful. That creates
yeah.
windows often, but it's never a for sure thing. But the other tool is also never a for sure thing, and that's to put the fear of God in them. That's when you shove the monk's head under the water until he bursts out of the river, going, and then you say, "Well, that's how much you need air. That's you need to chase after the truth with that same fervor."
Yeah.
The and that's more blunt instruments, but can on occasion be useful. I think that's a little more your style.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
I but
that's
I think
both.
that those are kind of like, broadly speaking, those are kind of like the two major
Yeah, and
strategies.
this fits too. I'm reminded of Peter talking a bit about some of this. He said like there's two main ways to go. One is this, like people move away from discomfort, and in order for real growth to happen, I don't. They say the carrot works better than the stick, but I disagree. The stick works. Maybe the carrot work. Anyway, I think we actually talked about the carrot works to continue to reinforce it. Maybe the carrot works in some circumstances, but usually, if you want somebody to really get off their ass and move, it's got to be uncomfortable. And so, what Peter said is either you put the fear of God in them or you love them so damn much it's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like, you ever been loved and accepted that hard? Like, you're like, fuck, I'm a bad person. See, so I get uncomfortable. So in either case, if you're going to help somebody grow, you have to be okay with them being uncomfortable because they're gonna,
Mhm.
and then you have to stay um, true to your intent. If you're going to grow somebody, it's a fine line because your own self will get in the way, like what I want and don't want, and
Mhm.
yeah,
I don't know anything about that.
me neither.
No.
Cool. Well, thanks, man. That's great.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. And till next time, come to a workshop. Check the links. Oh, join us on School. We have free resources available. There's a community, an online community, SKOOL.
Hmm.
You're invited. Join in. Weekly newsletter. So if you want to start easy and then blah, 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 workshop. Okay. Bye. Check the links. You know what to do. See ya.